Welcome back to the Worldwide Wolves podcast here. We're going to talk about some Timberwolves Summer League action and just go in depth on what Jake here thinks the Wolves' biggest need is. But I'm Cooper coming to you from Pittsburgh. And Jake, we're around the world. Where are you coming to us from?
I'm here in Melbourne, Australia, across the world, ready to talk some Summer League hoops. The fun of Summer League has died off a little bit, as it always does. It's always really fun for the first one or two games, and then it's like a steep decline after that. But we do have one game left when we're speaking. It might have been already played by the time guys listen to this. It might have been not played. It's still about a day away right now. So yeah, I'm excited.
Is it a night game? I guess I should know this, but it's the consolation game, whatever that means.
Yeah, I think it is a afternoon game over there. It's 7:30 a.m. here, which is actually a good time for me right now.
Right, timing is completely different. Anyways, the Wolves have one more game. It is not, despite going 4-0, they are not in the Summer League playoffs. Whatever. I wish they were, because this last game seems a little meaningless. We'll see if TJ plays, Rob. But yeah, I mean, those are the two guys we're kind of going to focus on here for sure. TJ Shannon, because, he sat in the last game because he is just that good. He proved that he does not really belong here in Summer League. If there was a Summer League MVP, I wouldn't even vote for him because he just doesn't really belong here. Like, it's almost unfair. So excited to kind of dive into his impact here and just what it means for the Wolves this season. But I guess, we talked overall impressions from TJ Shannon last week, and we were both pretty impressed. But I guess just your thoughts after two more games, but one more game for him. Have they changed at all since last week?
Not really. I mean, again, he's too good for Summer League, which is a good sign. I think he's worked on his game. He's added things to his game. That's what you want to see from a guy who you feel like is too good for Summer League, is someone who is not just going there and doing the same things that he did last season. And that, to me, is really the growth. Obviously, we got a really good Rob Dillingham game in there as well, which was awesome. We spoke about Rob a ton. I don't think anything – I mean, in general, I said this last week, my opinions on guys don't change that much from Summer League. It's such a bad environment for professional hoops, especially compared to regular season real NBA basketball. So I'm not going into any of these players with massively changed opinions, but I was really encouraged to see TJ play really well, add things to that game, start to round out his game, and look like the player who's too good to be there at 25 years or 24 years old. So yeah, I think it was a success for pretty much everyone in the team. Won all 4 games, so it did lead to winning whatever that counts for in Summer League. So, yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, and before we do continue, we should do a little bit of housekeeping. We just to throw it out there. Leave some comments down below. We do. I just went right into it as always, but leave some questions, comments down below. And in coming weeks here, we kind of want to just get more interactions with you guys in the comments. So do some of that. Should be interesting. And just you can find us here on YouTube or Apple, Spotify, right, Jake? We've got that all set up now.
Yep, Worldwide Wolves. Type it in. You'll see the photo, the little thumbnail that we have here as well. So yeah, find us over there if you are an audio, mainly an audio guy, audio listener.
Yeah, and now that you're all thinking, wow, what a great transition, really good time to do all that. We'll get back
to it. We're not good at it.
Yes, thank you. The support has been actually really nice so far. Thank you.
It has been. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's been kind of surprising how many people are watching, especially on YouTube, but listening as well. So I appreciate everyone.
Yeah, I thought we'd get like 20, so 2,000 is nice. It's pretty nice. But yeah, TJ Shannon, he might fill a role that the Wolves really need here going into this pretty crucial season. It's not, obviously they got rid of Nickeil Alexander-Walker and they kept the team around, but they're keeping a Western Conference Finals team around. So you want to keep building on that. You for sure need to get back to the playoffs, maybe win around, hopefully at least win around. And TJ Shannon is going to be a vital part of that at 24, 25 years old. And that just might be a role that maybe we didn't expect even, 6 months ago. We had to really see him play and see what he can bring to this team. And maybe he can fill what the Wolves' biggest need is right now. And this is a little controversial. Jake tweeted it out and people got a little mad. But Jake,
I'm being exposed. I'm being exposed for my tweets, which I specifically requested in our contract that I don't get exposed for my dumb tweets. I actually don't. I stand by it. But I do think I think that this team doesn't need a point guard right now. I mean, I think they need a point guard. If the point guard is Darius Garland, if it's De'Aaron Fox, obviously that player would be welcome on this team. But I mean, I think that goes without saying. I don't think this is what I'm trying to get across here, is that Anthony Edwards doesn't need a point guard next to him. I think my point is, with this current roster construction, Julius Randle is on this team. Anthony Edwards obviously is on this team. I don't think getting a starter level point guard somehow, I don't think they're going to do that. But if they got I don't know, pick your point guard, Malcolm Brogdon, even someone a little bit better than him, Tyus Jones. Anthony Edwards, he's the point guard on this team. I mean, that's just a fact. We can say whether it's effective or not. He's the point guard on a team who just made back-to-back Western Conference Finals. And yes, Mike Conley's there with him, but I think we're so bogged down in positional labels, and I'm doing the same thing
When
here.
you say point guard, you're not putting Conley at the 2, like, right? Like, it's not like a layered 1 through 5 here. But
if you say, what does a point guard do? What does your ideal point guard do?
Right.
It's handle the ball, it's create for others, it's run pick and roll, it's get downhill into the middle of the paint. Anthony Edwards does that more than anyone on this team by a long way. Mike Conley runs second side pick and rolls. He obviously will dribble the ball up and run some action sometime. He'll get them into some actions. But especially last season, Mike Conley dribbled the ball up and passed to Anthony Edwards. Like, that was his point guardy role. So he's a catch and shoot guy. He can run second side pick and roll. Not very well anymore, but especially the first season, he did. So when I say Anthony Edwards is the point guard, I don't mean Anthony Edwards is Tyrese Halliburton, because he's not that, and obviously he's not that. But I also don't think there's a world, whether I like this, I don't love this, and I know other people don't love this, but Anthony Edwards is not going to take 10% usage off his game so that someone else can dribble the ball up and run actions all game. Like, Anthony Edwards is the best player. There's no one in the league. There's no, I'm trying to think of just the top teams this season. The best player in the league, the best player on the team, had the ball in their hands the most. SGA is not really a point guard, but the ball's always in his hands. Halliburton obviously is a point guard. The ball's always in his hands.
Jokic.
Jokic. Jalen Brunson is just like a small shooting guard. Like, he's a point guard because he's tiny, but the ball's always in his hands. It doesn't matter if they're a point guard, a center, a wing, Jason Tatum. If the best player has the ball a lot. So I think in this,
Lakers are a prime example. I think LeBron, Luka.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't think of a team. I was talking to someone yesterday. Maybe Devin Booker is, KD has the ball a lot, but I think Devin Booker has the ball more. Donovan Mitchell is probably the best example, and he's obviously with Garland. But even then, like, Donovan Mitchell has the ball a ton, runs a ton of pick and roll, does a lot of point guard things, and is more of a point guard than Ant in terms of he's a better playmaker. He's smaller.
Yeah.
So I think in that tweet, which again, I'm not happy about my tweets being exposed, but what I mean by the Wolves don't need a point guard is I don't think they need to just replace Mike Conley with another Mike Conley, because Ant's going to have the ball. Obviously, you need other guys who can do some point guard things, but I think what they need is a guy who can play off Ant, who can make Ant be a better ball. I'd rather just call it a ball handler and a secondary ball handler and a tertiary ball handler, because that's what they are now. The wings are ball handlers.
Would, like, scorer, does that work? A downhill scorer?
Yeah, but yeah. I think that's what they need in terms of the third option on this team. Because that worries me. The third option on this team worries me. I think it could be Jaden. I would like it to be Jaden. The reason I brought it up is because TJ Shannon feels like that type of player. It could be Rob, which would, again, bring it back to the fact that it doesn't need to be a non-point guard. I just think in terms of the duties of this player, it's not going to be, hey, you're running 15 pick and rolls a game. You're getting us into actions all game. Ant's going to play off ball. Like, Ant's not going to play off ball for 50% of the game. It doesn't matter how good he is at it. It's just not going to happen, because SGA is good at catch and shoot threes. Jason Tatum would shoot 45% on catch and shoot threes if he was open all game. But they're not going to do that. It's just not, it doesn't derive enough value to have your best player not have the ball in his hands for 60 to 70% of the game.
Yeah, it's interesting, because obviously the need, when you look at this roster and you look at, like, position by position, you'd see like backup center, but point guard is glaring in terms of just
Mhm.
like talent level, maybe weakness, or just
And
overall players at the position.
position in the lineup
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah. It's
so.
it's intriguing because like that is a need, sure, like
Mhm,
long term point guard, absolutely, but just on this specific team, like yeah, you're right. Getting a Brogdon really does almost nothing for me. And there's
mhm,
not many guys out there that they can go get right now, especially as the offseason progresses. Like if rumors start coming up, we can entertain those. But right now it's just like there's not even guys I want to throw out just because we've heard
mhm,
nothing. So you do have to look internally. And I like Jaden in that role. I am just so intrigued on if they can get that going with Julius Randle. And we've kind of touched on this before, but Julius is the second option, just by reputation and a talent level. We saw it in the playoffs. He is the second option right now, and I'm not mad at it, but I think for him to be, for me to look at Julius and say, okay, that's a really good second option, and this might be obvious, but like the third option has to be better or much closer to Julius
mhm,
Randle. And whether that's just the offense unlocking Jaden more or TJ Shannon really taking a huge leap, I do have trouble seeing it being TJ Shannon, but I also think my biggest like if I were to choose someone to be this third option, it's almost just by committee, game by game. Can you have
mhm,
one of these guys be that, that scorer, that ball handler? And obviously long term you'd like it to be Jaden, but the conversation here a little bit, just what we've seen from TJ is, can he be that guy that gets the ball in his hands and is kind of a dangerous scorer? And I don't
mhm.
know. Year two, he is older, of course, but we're talking about a team that hopes to be really good. TJ Shannon, can he semi consistently be that third option? Do you think so?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that the bones of that player are there, and like I said, I don't. I worry less about the ball handling, the ability to bring the ball up the floor. I think
Yeah.
those are the things where I probably differ from the normal view a little bit. I just think that Ant is going to do that a ton like he did last season, and I think that Randall's going to do it a ton
I was
like
going to
he did
mention that.
last
Yep.
season.
Yep.
Um, what I am looking for in this player is, can you convert off Ant's gravity, and can you, rather than just being a guy who shoots a catch and shoot three, because it's a prerequisite for any player in the NBA pretty much these days to be able to shoot a catch and shoot three. So I don't think that's the prerequisite for playing next to Ant and making Ant better at being a ball handler and being someone who the offense runs through, because as I said, that is going to happen. And I can tell you with certainty that that's going to happen even more next season, because they didn't go and get a better point guard, and they didn't get another guy to handle the ball. I think they trust that Ant's I think they know that Ant's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He played 1,300 minutes without a quote unquote point guard last season. That's Conley and Dillingham not on the floor. And they had a 117 offensive rating, which would have been about sixth in the NBA. So, like, this is not a new thing. Ant plays without a traditional point guard next to him a ton. And I know that means, Nikhil handled a bit, Donde handled a bit, but again, they a lot of the times they would get it over half court and then give it to Ant so that he could run a pick and roll.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like these guys were like, even Conley, it's not like they were doing the Halliburton kind of thing where the offense is running through them because they're a point guard. They would get the ball up the court. Maybe Ant would run off like a screen at the elbow so he could flare out to the wing and catch the ball in a kind of more advantageous position where the defense is a little bit shifted. But it really, like, it wasn't very sophisticated stuff. The coaching staff doesn't run a lot of things for Ant. So um, I want the player, in my mind, it's like, when Ant gets doubled, or when Ant gets into the paint, or when Ant, can you get another guy coming off a pin down who can catch the ball and turn the corner and get into the paint, or pass collapse a defense, pass to the corner. That's stuff that a point guard can obviously do as well. I think Jaden McDaniels needs to become a better playmaker to really flourish in that role, because you need to be able to pass to Gobert in those situations as well, which Jaden isn't bad at, but he doesn't have any playmaking chops really. That's why TJ Shannon was in my mind, because his playmaking in Summer League was awesome. And it was the things I want to see that player do. Whip passes to the corner. He was doing that all Summer League, pinpoint passes to the corner, skip passes. hitting the lob when the low man steps up, and scoring, getting downhill and scoring, and obviously shooting threes as well. So I think that's what they want as well. I think they know.
Yeah,
And then in the added bonus of having a bigger player in that position is you can maintain some defensive identity.
I like that. Let me ask you on a specific player. How much does a leap or a just bounce back here from Dante DiVincenzo help with this? Because if he's the guy that can be in the corner, knocking down threes consistently, or just, anywhere behind the 3-point line, he's not the guy that's going to be the third option guy that can get downhill. But when I said by committee earlier, it almost meant that you combine the skills of maybe a TJ Shannon and a Dante DiVincenzo when they're out there together. And if Dante's just better than he was last year at just hitting the open threes or just creating open threes for himself, I think that helps guys like TJ Shannon, takes more gravity away from Anthony Edwards. When Dante enters the 3-point line, it is horrifying sometimes, but just overall, like if he can be a better player than what we saw last year, it does, I think, just help open more stuff up for the Jaden McDaniels and the TJ Shannon to get inside the 3-point line and activate their game more. Because, if you have Dante of last year, who again was still a really solid player, at least for the second half of the season. But yeah, I mean, if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, that really helps to unlock this archetype, I think, of TJ Shannon in a way that I think the two of us have kind of ignored with Dante a little bit.
I think I don't fully disagree, but I also just want to see Dante's role not minimized in terms of, he plays 10 minutes less per game, but I want to see him have to do less things. So I think
that's kind of what I'm saying. Like if
when he does less
down,
things,
yeah.
Like I have this vision in my head of Ant has the ball at the top, Jaden is on his right, TJ's on his left, Dante's in the corner, and then Gobert or Nas are either setting a screen for Ant or staying in the corner as well, like if it's Nas. And it just feels like that gives options where the ball can keep moving around. So I felt like a lot, especially in the playoffs, it felt like the ball would move around, but it would never get inside the arc. Ant could do it. Nas would try and do it. Other players would try and do it, but it was a turnover waiting to happen. But it feels like everyone wanted to catch and shoot threes. And that's obviously a necessity for anybody. But if you can't drive and kick, it's harder to create good catch and shoot threes. And I think we saw that in the playoffs where they just struggled to make threes and struggled to create a lot of really wide open threes as well. And they didn't make a lot of them when they did create wide open threes, especially in that OKC and that Golden State series. And all of the series they struggled to shoot. But I think you need someone like Anthony Edwards. And I don't mean that in terms of you need a superstar, but I think you need someone who can get past their man, break the paint, get the defense in rotation. The whole point of offense is to get the defense into rotation. That's a very simplistic way of breaking it down. But
how close is this to being Nas Reed? Isn't?
Yeah, well, everyone's got a little bit of it. I think that's
my committee thing. It's just man.
I think Nas and Jaden are similar, where their handle's probably not exactly where you'd want it. And they're both not.
See the flashes with. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it with Nas almost more than Jaden. Jaden had one really good month of it, and it was without Julius Randle and Jaden's.
And the good playoffs as well.
Yes. Nas Reed not so much, but yeah, I mean we've seen it enough with Nas Reed, enough to where the front office had enough faith to give him $25 million per year. So maybe that is more Nas Reed. Again, he is coming off the bench, so that's why we really haven't mentioned him. Same with Dante, I think. But man, I mean if he can keep taking that leap, I could see it with him getting inside the paint, and he's obviously a threat from three. So there's guys on this team where you're like, I can see that role forming.
Yeah, he needs to become a better playmaker as well, Nas. Yep. The wild card here is can it be Julius? He's not doesn't have that speed burst, but he does do it in his own kind of way where if he's attacking a shifted defense, he's really good. And then he can kind of attack a shifted defense and reshift that defense toward him. And he's obviously a good playmaker coming out of that. So Randall's in that mix.
The thing with Randall for me is with everyone else, they're 6 years young, except for Dante, I guess. But with everyone else, they're 6 years younger than Randall. So it's we could see it continuing to develop. And maybe with another year of familiarity, Julius continues to get better. Obviously, in the second half of the season, in the playoffs, he was really, really damn good to the point where I'm yep, I'll take him as my second option here, despite, what we said in previous podcasts. I'm coming around to it and accepting it. Yeah, I mean, so maybe just with another year of familiarity, but the reason I guess I focus more on these younger Jaden, Nas, Rob, TJ, they're just so young and they can keep developing, whereas Julius, we kind
Yeah.
of know what we're getting.
Yeah, and the thing that I've noticed when I've just kind of been poring over some stats over the offseason is, and this is valuable by the way, but like Randall and Ant both play better without each other. And that's an issue. Like Ant shoots 5% better at the rim when Julius isn't. Oh no, that's wrong. He shoots 5% better at the rim with Julius on the floor. But obviously, all these numbers go up. Randall without Ant is that averages 26.4 points per 75. Like his true shooting goes up 8%. His 3-point percentage goes up 11%. His shooting at the rim goes up 6%. So that's valuable to have a guy you can lean on who becomes better when your best player isn't on the floor. But I want to see them kind of mix together and play off each other a bit more. And I think we will see that just in terms of chemistry. And then to take this back to TJ Shannon, is he another guy you can add into the mix? Randall gives you some of the playmaking. Jaden gives you finishing. Jaden's such a great finisher against a shifted defense. Like he's just ridiculous. Nas gives you a little bit of that as well, where he can get to the rim. Can TJ be another guy who can get to the rim, and can he be a playmaker? Because that's what they don't have enough of. Dante that is no great playmaker from that situation. Nas, Jaden, Randall is, but he doesn't do it much. He wants to get the ball kind of on the block and spin and swivel and get slowly into his stuff. So can TJ be the conduit between these kind of players? Is it too much of an expectation right away? Obviously, he's not going to be a starter. I don't think he should be a starter, but is he going to be a player who makes Anthony Edwards a better quote unquote point guard? That's my question with him, because you look like a better point guard if the guy you give to, if the offense is running really good every time you pass the ball to someone. That makes you a point guard. And Ant needs to get, like, my main point, I'm kind of shifting out everywhere here, but my main point I think that I was trying to make yesterday is I think it's more likely that Ant gets better at doing point guard things than it is that they get someone who's going to take the ball out of Ant's hands.
And it seems like that's the direction. We've seen it this offseason. Like that's what the Wolves seem to be banking on as well here. So, yeah, I mean, the TJ Shannon conversation, it's very interesting because we just haven't seen him in that role. And then you see him in Summer League, and it's like, we'd love to see it, and we will probably, but also for 15 minutes a game probably. So it's weird, man. It is.
And can he hold up defensively? Is he going to be good enough defensively to keep a guy like
enough?
Yeah.
There's it's a lot of question marks.
Like I think you said, it's kind of a by committee thing. But I do think that going with that by committee is still a better idea than getting a Colin Sexton or someone. Like, I don't know what Colin Sexton, and I mean, I would have liked if they made a cool move like getting Colin Sexton, but I don't, when I'm thinking about it, I don't know what he does except become that player. If he's the third option driver, downhill scorer, then yeah, but I don't think they're going to go and get someone who's going to take the ball out of Ant's hands so that Ant can play off ball. Ant's not going to play off ball, man. Like I would like him to play off ball too. And people say he needs to do more Steph Curry things. There's a reason why no one does Steph Curry things, because Steph Curry has the most stamina in the half court of any player ever. That's just not, you can't just wake up and roll out of bed and run off 17 screens in one possession.
We've seen it with Ant. He's just not that player.
He's not that. He's an on-ball guy, and I would like him to get better at the on-ball things before, and he still needs to be able to play off the catch and he does, and he needs to do that more. And I think if you have a player who can pass a little bit more, you would get that. If you had a great point guard next to him, you would get that, and I would be happy to see that. But I don't know. I think I'm working through my own thoughts here that I don't know. I think I'm on the same train tracks here that they're on, is that we need to get guys who can play next to Ant if Ant has the ball.
Well, yeah, and we've mentioned this with Rob, like just to kind of transition into a player we haven't talked about. Rob's stats have been best, like by a mile, when he's next to Anthony Edwards. Can he? I mean, it's interesting. We've seen the Summer League games, and I haven't I don't know if I've gained any more faith in Rob. I haven't really lost much faith. He's just kind of
Mhm.
consistently been the same player I've thought. Small, he can score, but I don't have faith he can hold up defensively or even score that well against NBA talent when it comes down to it. Like, I'm trying to picture him against the Thunder, and it just kind of frightens me. But
Mm.
like, man, can this season can he take any sort of leap to continue developing as the starting point guard eventually next to Anthony Edwards, where you're like confident in that going into a playoff series? It's hard for me to imagine that, but like if he was 3 inches taller with 3 inches more on that wingspan, I'd be all in, man. It just is the height, and you
Mhm.
see him shooting. It's like his entire body is using so much strength on every shot. It's tough, man. It is to see it at 20 years old. Maybe at 23 years old, he is that player, but yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting conversation because they just took him top 10 year 2, and he's not this exact need that we're talking about, but
Mhm.
he's shown flashes of being able to get to the rim, and in college his ability was literally to score the basketball. So it's in there. Can it translate? Can it come close to being what the Wolves need? I don't. It's not something I want to put faith on. If the Wolves were like, if it was like the next step is the 6th seed, I'd be like, yeah, let's see what happens here. But they're such a good team already, and they're coming off back to back. The big hang up with me is the expectations. Like, I'd love to
Mhm.
see this stuff tested out, but at the end of the day, you got to win basketball games, and I don't know if Rob's that guy quite yet. I'm also working through my thoughts here with Rob because I do like him, but the size concerns are just so real with me. So, any thoughts on Rob in these types of roles we've been talking about?
Yeah, I think he's just another one that you add into that mix of doing this by committee, because I firmly believe this is. I think that was the. I don't think they lost the Thunder series because they couldn't handle the ball, or because, and obviously that was an issue. It was an issue with every team that played the Thunder for 100 games. The Indiana Pacers were one of the best kind of ball handling teams. Their best player is the best turnover to assist player in the league by far, um, and they turned the ball over 20 plus times on multiple games, and still took the Thunder to 7. So I think this is the biggest issue, which I think is why I'm passionate about it. I think it's the team's biggest issue is that they don't have enough guys who can capitalize off Ant's gravity in a way that's not just a catch and shoot three. Um, and there's other issues, obviously. There's issues with Ant. If Ant could throw a lob pass, that would alleviate some things in this team. Um,
Yeah.
but Rob is
Well,
another one.
Ant's not perfect is a big part of this. Is that Ant?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want it to come across where I'm saying, well, Ant's just an awesome point guard, and the guys he passes to don't. I don't
right.
think that. I
And
don't
we're gonna
think
have
that.
the Anthony Edwards discussion next week, by the way.
Yeah,
So stay tuned.
yes, we are. But I think Rob's another one. I think, to me, if I'm saying how's this team better than last season, it's that they add Shannon and Rob into the lineup, and they are good enough at this specific thing to add another dimension to this offense, and obviously to add some pace into the offense in transition, which is a different story and just as important. But that's what's giving me hope, to be honest. And I don't think that Rob and TJ need to be perfect players already. Rob's certainly not going to be. TJ is still inexperienced, even if he is older. Um, but if they're good at this one specific thing, I think that's so valuable to this team right now. And I think that Rob is pretty good at that. Again, he needs to show that he can finish. He needs to show that he can cut down turnovers when he is creating going downhill for others. But you've got two players there who this is in their DNA as a basketball player. It wasn't in Nikhil's DNA. And he does a lot of insanely awesome things. So there's not a nor diss. But it's not in Dante's DNA. It's not in it's in Jaden's, but he's always, a bit tentative as to when he's going to be aggressive or not. It's in Nas's DNA, but he's not a playmaker. He's a tunnel vision scorer going downhill. So I think you're adding. I don't think it's in anyone's DNA except Conley's and Ant's. And even Ant is a tunnel vision scorer going downhill as well. So, like, if TJ is a good enough playmaker, that's huge for this team. That's why I'm bringing this up again. I've said that, but if TJ it can hit corner skip passes, can throw lobs, and can continue being a guy who's just a torpedo going downhill, like, I just think there's such a role. I think his role will increase. It'll be hard to keep him off the floor if that's the things that he's going to do consistently next season.
Okay. Yeah. If this we keep mentioning the catch and shoot three thing. Like it can't just be that. What if
Mhm.
they were like better at catch and shoot threes a little bit? Because I mean, maybe I'd have to look at the stats, but were they a pretty good catch and shoot team?
I think they were a pretty good catch and shoot team.
Yeah,
I can get it up
it's
for what
just
we're
like the
talking.
Jaden thing because they'd often find an open
Well,
Jaden
Yeah,
McDaniels, and
it was a
it's
weird
largely
team
him.
that it was a weird team where you always felt like they didn't have the spacing and didn't have enough shooters on the floor, but then they always shot the ball well. I mean,
Yeah,
their bench definitely helped that. Like their bench would come in and just rain threes.
Julius
Dante,
Randle might be the all-time leader in "Oh my God, that's not going to go in." Whoa, how did that go in? Type shots. Like so,
yeah,
you're probably right. Same with Nas Reed, to be honest. Like they got
yeah,
some big guys
and
that can shoot the ball.
those three bench guys shot the shit out of it. I know that Dante was up and down, but I think he still ended up shooting like 39% or something for the season.
Yeah,
So
when we talk about Dante being up, it's almost exclusively when he would get into the paint and like turn the ball over, pretty much. So
yeah,
he's pretty still shoot,
the more often you can keep Dante from handling the ball, the better for me.
which is
Um,
why you elevate T.J. Shannon and Jaden McDaniels.
yeah, the Wolves shot 24 catch and shoots per game, which is about the eighth most in the league, and they shot 39.8% on them, which is the third best in the league.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's
dude.
and I think in terms of James, but that's what I mean. You can catch and shoot threes, and still like I think that's a great example of what I'm talking about because I think we can
Yeah.
all feel that they didn't capitalize on Ant's gravity as much as they should have last season during the regular season or during the playoffs, and that's because you can't just be catch and shoot threes. That was in the playoffs. They shot 39.8%. I didn't even have the regular season filter on, which is insane to me. They shot 40% on catch and
Yeah,
shoot
that's
threes,
pretty wild. Okay.
and they shot 38.7 in the regular season. So they shot better in the playoffs than they did in the regular season, which blows my mind.
We just really have that Thunder series taste in our mouths, man.
Yeah, and
Like
they
the
had a
first few
couple of
were
like
solid.
really great games as well. This game one of the Lakers series, game 3 of the Thunder series, maybe one in that Golden State. You know, it's such a small sample size that it's easy to manipulate those stats. But they're a good shooting team. They find good catch and shoot shots from the players who can make them.
Okay, yeah. This was a pretty like jumbled episode so far, but I think
I feel
we're
like
kind of just
I'm
working through our thoughts, you
Yeah,
know?
I feel like I'm ranting, so I'm so sorry if it feels that
No,
way.
the few times I've talked, I've like halfway through been like, "Am I making any sense?" So I hope I am, but it's been good. We're working through this roster. I mean, neither of us, when we look at this roster, we've talked about this before. I don't think we think it's a perfect roster by any means. I mean,
No.
there's quite a few holes. The big man rotation is going to be kind of confusing. It's weird. Like I thought they were going to make a bigger trade this off season, so they
Mhm.
must have faith in their players, or they just couldn't get anything done. We'll see what it is when the season gets going here. We'll have a lot of time to talk about it. You got any other big thoughts on Summer League here? Jalen Clark, Baron J, anything?
No. I think Summer League, it's just sent me on this tangent
Right.
of what the Wolves need and excited for what they could get from these guys who I think have all had a pretty good Summer League. Jalen Clark wasn't very good, but
He is what he
I'd
is.
like to go. Yeah, I'd like to go back to our preview because I feel like I said I think Jalen Clark will have a bad Summer League because it's just not his
We
vibe.
said that he's like, I don't know if we said bad, but definitely like not exciting. Like
Yeah,
it's just
like it's
gonna
not
be
his.
a
He
guy.
needs good players around him in a good system, and
Mhm.
that's not Summer League. So I just think it's been fun. I just take it for what it is. It's fun to see these young players get some more reps. I'm not going to make any sweeping declarations because of the Summer League, but
Yeah. I
I
don't
mean,
have a
I
declaration.
kind of am. But
Well, sure, but I don't. I
yeah,
guess it's not because of Summer League. It was more like a clarification with the Clark and TJ Shannon. I think TJ
mhm.
Shannon is like
He's good,
clearly
man.
ahead of Clark. Yeah, and like clearly
Yeah,
ahead of him.
he's like the eighth man in Penn at the moment.
Yep, Clark is the guy that he'll play, but I don't think it's as set in stone as maybe we think. Injuries will just ruin all of what we're talking about every time. But like, it's July 18th because
Yeah,
whatever. We're talking about Jalen Clark, but I think it's valuable, man. Clark he's clearly, I think, the ninth guy, and I don't think he's clearly the 10th guy. Like I think he's cemented in stone as the ninth guy on this roster, and that could mean 0 minutes, could mean
I think
12. We don't know.
Dillingham will be the ninth man. I think Clark will be the guy who
Okay.
gets minutes. I just think that
I
they're gonna
guess they
want,
don't really have anyone. They kind of need him to be too. So
and I just think that they're gonna. I think Clark would probably win you more games just in terms of not making mistakes, or he'd lose you less games. Maybe is a better way to say it than Rob might.
yeah,
But they're gonna want to see what they have in Rob. They have to play him. I just think they have
I
to.
kind of like lump Mike and Rob together. Like I was putting them both in my thoughts, but it's such a weird
Yeah.
rotation. I'm my most excited thing was almost just to see that damn point guard rotation, man. Who knows?
Mm. Yeah.
And I know we've been saying Anthony Edwards, but like the positional
Yeah.
rotation at the
Exactly.
one,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
strange. It really is.
Yeah.
And do they have even like it's the two guys right now, pretty much.
Yeah. Which is I guess why I have this take that I just think they're going to play. There's going to be times when neither of those guys are on the floor because I think they trust Ant to do it. And in those times where last season it was Nikhil and Dante, can it be TJ this season? Is he able to do not as many ball handling
Okay.
things as Nikhil, but maybe he adds something else coming off of Ant?
Do they have Julius do even more of it?
Yeah, I think so. I want to see Julius run some more pick and roll.
Yeah.
Like I think he was pretty good at it last season, but I
If
think
you're
that
gonna
he needs.
extend Julius, like let's just go all in on Julius. Like,
Yeah,
let's see what
well,
he's
yeah,
doing.
exactly. And it's not like he had a terrible. Like he did have a great end to this season, and I just think that I would like to see them expand what Julius does a little bit more, rather than being like, well, Randall's really good at punishing mismatches and getting into the paint. Like I want to, can he actually, run some pick and roll? Can he get Rudy involved a little bit more? Can he handle the ball when you need him against teams that, obviously not a team like OKC, but there's 28 other teams in the league that he can add some value to. So Randall ran 69 pick and rolls last season. No, he didn't. I can't read today, man. Sorry.
It's like that doesn't seem right.
He ran 96 pick and
Okay.
rolls last season, and he was in the 85th percentile for scoring. He scored 1.02 points per possession,
Do you
same
have
as
the
Ant.
percentile of like the rate? Like how is that? How often? I don't.
That's
What I'm trying to say here is
7.5% of his possessions
okay.
came as a pick and roll ball handler. You look at Conley's was 29.2, Ant was 33.3, which again proves my point.
Wow.
Dante 18%. Dante's super inefficient. Conley super inefficient. Randall and Ant were both in the 85th percentile in terms of efficiency. Nikhil was in the 13th percentile, and he ran 140. That's kind of what I mean. Like if I think TJ Shannon can be better than that. Jaden ran 81, 1 point per possession, 82nd percentile. Again, take the, I was going to swear then, the effing reins off Jaden and just let him do some shit because he's good at it. Rob ran 97. He was in the 30th percentile. That makes sense to me. And Nas ran 47 and he was in the 60th percentile. So I think I don't know.
The
My
answer
thoughts
is
are everywhere.
more of their like good players, just like unlock more of what these
Yeah.
guys do
The
well.
answer is that the guys who did it last season were very good at it.
Yeah, right.
Conley, DiVincenzo,
Deal.
and Nikhil were the three guys outside of Ant who ran like 6 times more than them, which again proves my point that Anthony Edwards was the point guard since he ran 500 more pick and rolls than Mike Conley last season. But
Yeah, but he's not. You're not even mad about the tweet backlash at all. Like,
no. But yeah, I think Randall and McDaniels are guys who could do more if you take and you can put DiVincenzo back into a role that suits him. Put Conley into a role as a catch and shoot guy as well, which he's still very good at. So I just think there's a way they can kind of tweak this roster from the inside and kind of add another layer of offense to what they're doing with the guys they already have.
I think we worked through this better to the end here. I think we kind of found what we were looking for in the end.
This was a therapy session.
Yeah. We had to work through it. Now we got the takes. It's good.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm going to title this, but it'll be fun to explore.
What do the Timberwolves need from their point guard?
There you go. Look at that. It's a partnership. Anyways, you got anything else for us today?
No, I have to go as well. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone for letting me rant. I am so sorry if I sound like a madman for most of this episode, but I appreciate you and the listeners.
Yes, a couple days we'll have it's a really fun episode. Stay tuned. Appreciate you guys. It's hard to explain. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.